This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I hope that you will consider this your vitamin or supplement for your heart and mind. And however and wherever you listen to podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a rating and a brief review? You can find Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and lots of other places as well. Please spread the word. Today I want to talk about time power, or the power of time. I have heard it said all of my life that time is a great teacher. It teaches us that once it has passed, it is gone forever. The appreciation of time should give each and every one of us a sense of urgency as we go about our work and life. Time is a wise counselor. In the Bible, there is a quote attributed to Solomon: there is a time and a season for everything. There is time to work, there's time to play, there's time to spend with your family, there's time to continue to look at life. There's just time to do whatever it is that needs to be done and should be done. But it doesn't come knocking on your door. It doesn't ring an alarm bell. You have to manage it. And the people who are going to succeed at anything in life, there's one common denominator. They are the people who have placed a very high value on time. Now, you may think that what I'm describing for you in these next few moments is some formula for time management. But I probably fall in the camp of those who say that there really is not such a thing as time management. Time management is really life management. I have only so much time, so many hours in the day, so many days a week, month, and a year. How am I going to manage to get done all of my responsibilities at home, at work, to myself, to my friends, to society? How am I going to get that done? Well, time management is really life management. And I believe if we would drill down a little bit more, time management is really nothing more than self-management. I have to get up in the morning. When it's time to work, I have to put my head down and get the work done. I can't just goof off and procrastinate and waste time. So one of the reasons that we need to consider time management for a few moments is it's not just how we manage our lives. It's really, in fact, how I manage myself. What I have discovered in life, my biggest problems have not come from outside sources. It hasn't come from people who have opposed me. My greatest challenge in life has been managing myself. And if we are all honest, the person we have to deal with most directly, and at times the one who is harder to deal with, is none other than ourselves. So before I talk to you about some of the structure and organization of how to deal with time, let's set some background, if we could, for a few moments. Whenever I hear the word time, and I'm talking about how to manage my time, how to manage myself, I want you to, every time you hear the word time, think of the word focus. The reason things do not get done, the reason we lag behind or fall behind on projects and other commitments we make, including commitments to our own family, is we have a tendency to lose focus. When it comes to taking care of the moments and the minutes and the time in my life to get things done, it's not going to happen if you don't focus. Lack of focus, procrastination, putting things off, that is nearly everyone's default position. So as I talk about time in these next few moments, I want you to just, as synonymously as when you hear time, hear the word focus. Because if you're going to learn to manage your time, you're going to have to focus. Now, the second thing that I want you to think about as we, in a moment, talk about the structure and organization of our time is your life is in your hands. You have to stop blaming everyone else or go around continue. It's almost a badge of honor, at least in the United States, to tell everyone how busy you are. And you're so busy, and I don't have time. And your life is in your hands. Now, I understand there are a certain amounts and segments of our time in which we have commitments, real commitments we have to carry out. If you are an employee, you have to work a certain set number of hours and maybe even overtime. There are certain family commitments. There are certain commitments we make to our children. There are certain social commitments we make and volunteerism, and on it goes. But step back for a while and look over your life. Just do a real quick inventory, and I'll guarantee you there are places where you don't take care of the minutes. If you want to watch television, go to the movies, do whatever it is you want to do. Okay, I understand that. But the average American watches way too much television. I'm not saying this against leisure. It'd be better to get up and get moving for your leisure. But if you even cut down 2 to 3 hours a week in television time and gave that focus to starting a side business, to getting yourself where you need to be financially, physically, spiritually, quit making up the idea that everyone else controls your time. They do not control all of your time. And no one is responsible for your life like you are. Your life is in your hands. If you don't learn these things, you'll go through life with a learned helplessness. Well, I really can't change. This is how my parents were. This is how my grandparents were. Therefore, this is who I am. I can't help myself. I'm not able to do that. I can't read. I can't exercise. I can't save money. I'm just helpless. Quit it. Take control of your life. And the first area you have to take control of to get control of your life is your time. Make the time to make the changes you need to make. And then quit going through life as if you are nothing more than just a poor creature of circumstance. Now, I realize we all have things that we cannot change. We were born where we were born. Our parents are our parents. There are certain other limitations that are placed upon us. I understand that. But you quit being a creature of circumstance and begin by managing your time, your life, and yourself better, that you can become the creator of your circumstances. Begin to incrementally change where you are. Now, I have 4 things that I want to talk to you about the power of time and how you can begin to harness it to be able to do things that you really need to do. And we're going to call this the structure and the organizing of our time. Just 4 simple tools that I believe will help you. Are you ready? The first thing is, if you're going to manage time, then ultimately manage your life and manage yourself. You have to think ahead. You cannot wait till life hits you in the face and then continually do nothing but react to the circumstances of life. Thinking ahead. That's why things in my life really began to change when I started a morning routine and an evening routine. And in the way I look at it, it may be backwards, but I think of the evening routine first. Now, for me, there's some Bible reading, some praying, and some just general reading. But I will get out my calendar. I will look at, especially tomorrow and then possibly the next day, I will see whatever meetings I'm having, either with individuals or committees or groups. And I will make sure that I have all the background documentation. I have all the material that I need for that meeting, and I make sure that I have it all ready for me. And if there's some things I need to look at, collect, gather, I do that. I then list all of the activities that I have to do for the next few days. But for that next day, as I list them out, I list what I call are the 3 most important. And at least one of them is goal-oriented, is moving me toward my goal. And then I circle them, I number them 1, 2, 3, and I make up my mind that I will not go to bed tomorrow night until I have at least gotten these 3 things done. Most days, not only do I get those 3 things done, I get several other things done. But we can't plan for emergencies. So by thinking ahead, I am ready. I know what I'm going to do. And a part of my morning routine is indeed beginning working on that first most important activity. Many times it's something that's hard. It's something I really don't want to do. but I start working on it almost immediately. If you're going to manage time, my friend, you have to think ahead. Secondly, the second structure and organizational tool for managing time. First is thinking ahead. Number two is planning for contingencies. No day goes exactly as I planned it to be or as exactly as I wanted it to go. So I have to plan for contingencies. That's sort of why I say the night before, I'll not go to bed tomorrow night until I have at least these three things done. That's why I begin working on them in the morning, because I'm in a position where periodically there are emergencies that will drive my day. And I'm imagining that's true for you. You don't have control of every hour of your day. And when emergencies come, you can't ignore them, you can't deny them, you have to handle them. You have to be ready for contingencies. I believe the greatest thing to help you face the contingencies that you're going to face tomorrow is by planning ahead, thinking ahead, being prepared. Therefore, when you're prepared, it's much easier to move to the unexpected. It's much easier to pause, stop, deal with whatever it is that becomes somewhat urgent in the moment and take care of it. Thinking ahead will help you get ready, and also just think, what if something happens tomorrow? How will I find the time to get these three things done as well as doing the other? You must plan for contingencies. No one can sit down and write out a day, a week, a month, a year ahead of how life is going to work out. There are surprises all of the time, and you have to plan for them. So thinking ahead, then planning for the contingencies. The third thing to structure and organize your time is to prepare thoroughly, not half-heartedly, not just cursory, not just a flyover. That's why I said the night before, I have either in Evernote or in my email or somewhere in a journal, I bring all of that material together that I'm going to need in order to be prepared for a meeting tomorrow night or a lunch with someone where I know what the subject matter is going to be, and I prepare myself thoroughly. Nothing helps you capture time and not waste it like being prepared. Don't go to a meeting ill-prepared, or even worse, unprepared. And don't just prepare. I think when you're initially starting out as a leader, I am a believer in the over-preparing. It'd be better to have more material than what you need. So you need to prepare, and you need to prepare yourself thoroughly for what all you may be facing in the days ahead. The fourth thing that I think will help with the structure and organizing of our time is to focus on the results. I focus on the results. A couple of podcasts ago, I talked about treasure mapping. The X being that's the goal, that's where I want to be. I work my way back to where I am. Now, what are the steps that are going to get me to the treasure, going to get me to the goal? And many times they seem like small and insignificant, or at least at best incremental steps, and you're left to wonder, does doing this really move the needle? Is this really going to get me where I need to be? That's why when you're doing some of those very simple steps, never lose sight. The reason I'm doing this is my goal is, and you fill in the blank. And because that is my goal, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Always keep your eye on the prize. Always keep focused on your results. Again, your time and your focus will determine what you're able to accomplish. Quit going through life saying what you can't do, as if you have learned in the school of helplessness. I can't help myself. I can't change things. I'm a creature of circumstance. Listen, get a hold of your time and you'll get a hold of yourself and you'll get a hold of your life. And it starts by thinking ahead. Don't wait till the moment to start trying to figure it out. Think ahead. How am I going to plan my day? Plan for the emergencies and the contingencies of life, because they happen and they happen regularly. Prepare yourself thoroughly. Commit to doing a good job. Find the preparation. Sometimes you can find it in books and research. Sometimes it's by just listening to others and asking their opinions. And always keep in mind why you are doing what you're doing. Focus on results. This is Dr. Ron saying, why don't you think about your time and get focused on being the best you can be, and to manage not just your time, but to manage yourself and your life. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you have considered this your vitamin or supplement today for your heart and mind. And remember, leader, you are really doing better than you think you are. Please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, and please pass the word along to all of your friends. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.